Welcome to Rad on Wrestling. This is episode 6, I believe, and it's the Backlash, WrestleMania Backlash review slash our favorite ladder match. First off, let's go with it. What do you guys think of Backlash?
It was predictable.
Yeah.
Big time.
You guys destroyed me.
Yeah, that's the one thing with WWE, I think that they lack is like they'll have like these one-off pay-per-views, like the little smaller ones where it's really predictable. You kind of know where everything's going. But overall, I really enjoyed the matches. I mean, that zombie match was a little
It was stupid, but it's reported that they did make $1 million off of just airing it. So, I mean, as a business standpoint, I don't blame them. If somebody told me, like, I don't care, it could be if I was a promoter and they said, hey, we're going to give you $1 million, I'd be like, well, might as well, because if everything else sucks, at least I made $1 million off of it. But yeah, it was weird. Obviously Miz got injured. The movie though, that it was promoting, I've watched half of it so far and it's pretty good.
I think I'm going to try and check that out tonight. It's either going to be that or Ultimate Warrior's biography.
Yeah, I definitely am looking forward to checking that out.
I hope that it's less of a smear campaign than the Macho Man was, because the Macho Man one was good and it covered, a lot of his story, but like, why the hell did they have Bubba the Love Sponge on there? He had no right being on there. The dude is trash.
Oh, that is 100%. He is definitely trash.
Agree. And also like his exes, I guess, to tell parts of stories, but I just thought, yeah, I can't agree with you, Derek. I was just like, I'm wondering why they chose these people. Some of them.
Like I got why they did Gorgeous George, because without Macho Man, there's no female Gorgeous George. But like she basically said, well, when Macho Man was sober, he was fine, but when he wasn't, oh, he was a dick. And it's like, okay, like if you're trying to honor these legends, like, yeah, we like Ultimate Warrior, we know there's a lot of bad, but they don't need to emphasize on the bad. Like it's just like when we talked about New Jack, like there's a lot of bad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a lot of good.
Yeah.
But I'm curious though, because of like how much involvement WWE actually has with the A&E thing, because one thing, except for like, obviously they've done things back in the day with when they were pissed at the person and they're like, oh, we still want to make some money off of your name. And it was like the old, I think it was the first Ultimate Warrior.
Self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah. And it was like, kind of like, but I don't know if A&E is just trying to get like some like Dateline type vibe to it, where like we're gonna talk some shit, and it's really, so it may not even be so much about honoring him. Like I was curious about the Shawn Michaels one. I didn't know if they full on honored him or talked about all the shitty things that he did when he was.
So with his, it was a little bit of both. But Sean covered the bad. Like they had him, like, I mean, it's hard when someone's dead, like.
Yeah,
now, because we don't have the technology.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, when we get the technology to interview the dead, I feel like it's going to be a lot easier.
Yeah, and like it seems like WWE kind of piggybacked off of A&E's format, because when they did the icons for Rob Van Dam, like we all know RVD is a stoner. Yeah. In ECW, it was RVD 420 just smoked your ass, and like 10 minutes in, he goes, yeah, it's no secret, I smoke pot. And they even covered his CBD line, which is great, because it's something that's RVD, and they covered his bad. And like, so I mean, it's just hard, because when a legend's not alive, like it's almost like, do you honor them or trash them? Because in the 80s there was a lot of bad.
Yeah. That's very true.
I I've honestly, I haven't. The only one I've seen is the Stone Cold. I'm waiting until the series wraps up, and then I can just binge them through because I have to watch it through the website and but or the app or whatever. But yeah, it's good heads up to know that it's not all positive light. But oh yeah, so we're going back to Backlash. We covered Army of so this is clear clearly we can say that Backlash was not very good. I mean, it was good. The matches are good. Progression not very, it didn't really do anything. Like there's nothing that after you're watching it you're like, "Ah." So we really don't need to go through the matches outside unless there's ones that you guys really liked. Um Going through it, I just know that you guys both had the same amount of points at 8. I came in at 7, and Dan came in with a 0 this time, but we're early on. So, but that's not 0 from guessing anything wrong because I'm pretty sure he would have had an 8 or a 7 as well. It was just from not turning it in. But the I thought I'd say probably my favorite match was Roman Reigns versus Cesaro, because
Yeah.
they had me thinking like a couple times like are they gonna do it? And I mean, and it just the finish that Roman Reigns uses on people that where I'm like, oh, you want this person to go with, doing the guillotine. I think it helps a lot because I'm like, that's a solid finish. And when he has it locked in, nobody gets out of it.
Little mini swerve there. Cesaro did get out of the first one though, like powered him up, and I was like, is this gonna happen? Are we gonna get swerved tonight? I was like, I don't know. I feel like back in the 90s they would do this to you because I like seeing Cesaro face Roman Reigns. I was thinking of that time. I think it was Chris Jericho and Triple H. I think it was on a random Raw. And Chris Jericho did win the title that night.
Yeah.
That was his first title win.
Yes, there we go. But then it got like reversed. I'm trying to like remember it because I was like little.
So what they did was, and like this is part of the backstage story, they gave it to Jericho to gauge the crowd reaction and then took it back so that they can give him the bigger win.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, that's what
also,
I was.
I'll be right back. You guys keep talking.
Okay. But yeah, that's what I was thinking with Roman Reigns and Cesaro. Like, we're going to get like, oh my God, Cesaro won. And like, then all of a sudden he loses it like a week later or something.
Yeah. Or like something of like kind of like with the Jericho Triple H thing where Triple H kind of strong armed the ref and saying like, oh, you got to reverse it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could have, especially since he's the tribal chief, like he could have pulled some type of shenanigan and got the title reversed. I feel like that might have been under consideration because originally the last match was supposedly supposed to be the triple threat with Braun, Bobby Lashley, and Drew, and then they went with Roman Reigns, Cesaro, and I think it was probably because, I mean, really, as much as entertaining as the match was, I feel like I would have been like, oh, I don't really need to see the end of this match. Of the triple threat I would have been like it, because we all knew it was going to happen, even though I guessed wrong. That was the one that I did guess wrong.
Yeah, that's what I felt going into that match. I really wanted Braun to win, but maybe later. Another nice battle during that was definitely Bianca and Bailey because they just had a match. I feel like it went a little bit longer than it should have, but there was only 6 matches on the card, right?
Yes.
Yeah. 7 with the pre-show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I actually kind of missed that because I think I was like taking out the trash or something. That's a different thing. But yeah, that was, I kind of caught up on that just on like Twitter or whatever. I was like, that's a pre-show match? I was like, okay, Sheamus and Ricochet. But yeah, Bianca and Bailey were pretty cool. I kind of am hoping that we do get a shakeup soon though, because I just don't know who else Rhea and Bianca are gonna face unless they're pushing new talent, which I don't see that really happening. Like I don't see like Mandy Rose going for the title like right now or Crash.
Yeah, with their since they still have the tag division that they which is kind of hard why they did like it's with the NXT women's tag belts, I feel like was kind of really not needed because it was interesting when the women's tag could go down to NXT, and I like that because then now you're like, oh well, we can't break we can't break up Riot Squad because they have to. We need somebody for the tag belts later, and I mean you could put people together again, but it's it's kind of it's kind of hard. But I definitely think that a shakeup should be coming because especially with Bailey, like Bailey is just awesome, and I would love to see Bailey versus Rhea. If when Rhea turns face or whatever, if she does, I mean, who knows? I'd be fine with a heel versus heel thing because Bailey's just been awesome. Like she's been an MVP.
Agreed.
100%.
So yeah, so we're now, so let's move on from that pay-per-view. And so what'd you guys pick for your favorite ladder match?
Am I starting? Okay, I'll start.
Yep.
So I actually picked, I had two. Honorable mention, of course. It's going to be the first tag team ladder match, Hardys versus Edge and Christian at No Mercy, 1999.
Awesome.
Just honorable mention, just because I saw them do things that you've never seen before. Like there's certain moves that happened in there and certain things they did at the ladders that were you're just like, what? Like Jeff Hardy leapfrogging it, them doing the seesaw spot. I'm like, even the finish was like really cool. Like it was just things I've never seen before that kind of blew my mind. I remember watching it as a kid and I was just like, oh my God. But my favorite is actually Jericho and Benoit.
Nice.
At Royal Rumble 2001. And the reason why is because Jericho and Benoit had many battles throughout that entire year, and it was a lot of technical wrestling. And this is the first time you see them still trying to be technical wrestlers, but using the ladders as well. I think that's one of the first times you see Jericho. I think he does like the walls on the ladder and everything.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, like, and even though it's so gross, but like there's a spot where Benoit does that suicide dive to the outside and Jericho just clatters him in the head with the chair. Gross. But that was just, I don't know, that was really cool seeing them kind of taking out of their element and doing different things, especially just the history they had all that previous year, even with like Kurt Angle and stuff. Like it was just really cool.
That's a good pick. Definitely a good pick. Derek?
So I have my honorable mention goes to Goldberg versus Scott Hall at WCW Sold Out 1999. It was the one where you have to grab the stun gun and stun your opponent.
Okay.
I'm totally kidding. That was horrible. Honorable mention definitely goes to RVD and Eddie Guerrero on Raw. Even with the fan jumping in and trying to go after them, still was a great match between two guys who had the same finishing move, but they were so different.
Yeah.
Like just thinking about just the talent that was in that match, like it's incredible. Like I still wonder what would have happened if Eddie was still with us.
Oh yeah.
Same.
But my number one goes to Ring of Honor, Ladder War with El Generico and Kevin Steen.
There we go.
Great. That was very good.
I know that we don't cuss much because some of this goes on YouTube and we don't want to get demonetized whenever we do get monetized. But they beat the fuck out of each other. Like literally they beat each other to the point where it's like only best friends could do that. And I just remember the emotion going into it. Like those guys have had so many great matches, but that one just always stands out.
I remember I'll always like see clips of it. I mean, I remember watching the match, but seeing even just some of the highlights from it. If you haven't seen it, check it out on YouTube because that match is crazy. I mean, every match that they have between each other is just, it's insane how neither one of us hurt, put each other on the shelf for a long time because it's very physical. They fight like brothers, and it's awesome. The one I went with the second ever ladder match in WWE, which they billed as the first time, which is Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon at WrestleMania 10.
Yeah, 10.
And they promoted it like it was the first one, even though Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart had a ladder match a couple years prior for the Intercontinental belt, or maybe it was even for the World belt, actually. But
No, if it was WrestleMania 10, then it would neither Bret or Shawn would have had the world title.
well, no, because Bret had it at 8 or at 9.
Did he?
Yeah, because remember he lost the belt in Las Vegas in 9, and then he won it back at 10. So I can't remember for I can pull it up while we're discussing it, but
The first one was Bret and Shawn,
yeah,
July 21st, 1992, for the Intercontinental title,
okay,
and it
cool.
was held
92.
in
Yeah, 92 was definitely long before the world title run, but it was which that was a cool match. I remember renting it on VHS, but seeing WrestleMania 10, Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon / Scott Hall was awesome because there wasn't a lot of exposure with ladder matches. So like now you're always like, okay, I mean, some of them will get cookie cutter now where you're like, oh, you're going to do this. This is going to happen. That I had no idea what was going to happen. Every time they're doing something, I'm like, and their spots weren't crazy. I remember once, like some of them were borderline ridiculous where Razor Ramon's laying on the ground and Shawn Michaels climbs up like on the ladder and just lets it fall on top of Razor Ramon. And it's not like, I'm like, okay. So basically it's just, it wasn't even like he took it from the top rope and fell. It was just like, oh, here, on this ladder is going to fall on you. But it was just cool because I had no idea what to expect. And it was, I mean, I was a huge Shawn Michaels fan. When he threw Marty Jannetty through the barbershop window, that was kind of what cemented. I was like, this guy is awesome. When he added Sherry Martel, it was great. Shawn Michaels, outside of even when he teamed with God, and I'm not very religious, I was okay with that. And but yeah, so I think that will always be like the first ladder match I think of, and because I think I had it on pay-per-view, or at least watched it on a black box back in the day.
Oh man,
You're dating yourself.
Oh yeah, well yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I even went into a WWF chat room later on, and everybody was talking about it. You had to get the whole dial up and everything else, but yeah. But yeah, that's the ladder match I'm going with. Yeah, so
good choice. Good.
Well, next week we are going to skip the homework assignment since we are going to be doing a Saturday episode again because it is AEW Double or Nothing, which we won't
should
really
have been in Vegas.
Yes, and which we won't really talk about the matches now because we are going to talk about, obviously that is our subject next week. But
well, I do have one question that we could have leading up to it, and this could be our homework assignment, a small homework assignment. In the casino battle royale, they always have at least one surprise.
True.
Who's the surprise?
Okay, I will think about that.
Yeah, that's
good.
Yeah, they definitely will have a surprise. That's a good question, or a good. Oh, yeah. All right, we can do that. So, is there anything that's happened in this wrestling week that you guys have caught your attention?
Actually, I went to GCW Draft Day.
Oh yeah.
Main event was AJ Gray versus Nick Gage, MDK all fucking day, for the GCW title. And of course it was a bloodbath, but John Moxley appeared, and they battled into my Vegas people, or all of our Vegas fans will know, into Ogden Street, which is right by Fremont Street. And that was it was a very interesting show. One guy I do want to put small spotlight on. His name is Jay Cartwheel, or Jack Cartwheel. I think it's Jay Cartwheel.
Oh, you're gonna put him on bus. You don't even know his name.
Well, I mean, he it was my first time seeing him, and he does a lot of cartwheels. And
Who would have thought?
yeah.
Well, because Jay or Jack Somersault was just not getting him a lot of attention. So
Yeah, it was he was really good. I'm trying to look it up real quick. Hold on 1 second. Let me just check.
there was
Sorry, it is Jack Cartwheel.
Okay, Jack Cartwheel. So
Yeah,
impressive with the cartwheels, or just excessive cartwheels?
Both, but like excessive in a good way.
Okay, cool.
Like, yeah, he was really, really good. Leo Rush was there. He had a match against Starboy, and another really good match. I love Leo's finisher right now. It's kind of like he springboards off the bottom rope from a sitting position and then into a cutter. And I was like, wow, that's super cool. Effie and Dark Sheik put on a great match, which Effie may be joining us on a future episode.
Cool.
Oh.
And then the other big news that I saw today is one of the New Japan talent that tested positive for COVID was
as long as it's not Okada. It was who?
It was Okada.
Well,
Yeah.
Son of a gun, dude.
So we're definitely wishing him a speedy recovery. He said that in his interview he mentioned that he tried to work out at home and he just does not have the energy.
Oh man, poor thing.
It's raining pennies over where he's at right now. We wish him the best. Hopefully he gets better. Hopefully, obviously COVID sucks, and a lot of New Japan talent has got it. I heard I was reading that a lot of the morale in New Japan is not at an all-time high. A lot of people are upset on how they're handling the COVID protocols.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I will say is, like, it's good that they have a lot of talent in the States, because guys like Kojima, who's going to be showing up on Impact, Rocky is going to be showing up on AEW Dark. They had Yuji Nagata on Dynamite. So I mean, it's good that at least some of the talent lives in the States, so that they could still be showcased how they deserve to be.
Yes, it was interesting. I heard, because there's talk of like that Will Ospreay, his neck injury may not be as bad as but it was just more of like a cover up to get him out of the country. I was reading, and also I know I was reading another thing. I don't know how accurate it is, but that Finn Juice might not be teaming for very much longer, and that David Finlay might be going towards the WWE brand.
Which it would be interesting, because David Finlay has just started showing who he is and what he can do. So I mean, it's strange that he would go so quick, but it also makes sense because his dad works there.
Yeah, I agree. And like we've discussed, I mean, at least to me, in my opinion, I just feel like no matter if WWE is your end goal or not, which it's been nice to right now with the alternatives, it doesn't have to be an end goal. But I definitely feel like if you can put time into the performance center, then you absolutely should, regardless if you're going to go in there and say, in your mindset, obviously you're not going to tell them that, but go in there and say, you know what, I'm going to do 2 years, and then I'm going to piss them off and get released so I can go somewhere else. But the experience that you're going to get, or knowledge from the, I mean, there was a picture somebody posted on Instagram today, some guy that just does a lot of like art, and he was showing the trainers for just NXT America, and it's insane. Like the amount of knowledge that you can get. Like Steve Carino is an awesome person that I always forget is there. Obviously Shawn Michaels and Triple H, William Regal. There's just so much talent that you're going to get that life experience. And like I said, WWE doesn't need to be the end goal, at least for now, but it if you can go to the Performance Center, you should.
Mm-hmm.
No, definitely. And speaking of WWE bound talent, it seems like Speedball Mike Bailey may be going there. Jay, you may remember him from PWG. Rob, I think I've shown you a few videos of him.
I think you have, actually.
He was a staple in Defiant or WCPW. A lot of appearances in PWG. Just a super talented guy, and I mean, he had visa issues because he overstayed his visa, so he wasn't allowed in the U.S. for I think it was either 3 or 5 years.
Dang.
So, as long as he's still doing as great as he was, like, definitely a bright future for Speedball. Mike Bailey. Speedball just sounds bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also
Go ahead.
there. Oh no, go for it. I think I was just actually going to ramble. Go for it.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, definitely.
I was just going to touch on really quick. Aleister Black is back, guys.
Yes.
And
the little touch of his eye still being with that contact was really cool.
Yeah, very excited to see. I'm really hoping they do something with him with this push. Like, they've been building him for a few weeks here. He's back now. Give him a belt. Let him run with it for a little bit. I'm really hoping they do something with him this run.
I would love for him to stay. I would hope that they make him a tweener. I don't want him to be full heel, or like where he like his buddies with heels. I would love for at some point, even if it goes down all the way to Royal Rumble, where it like Seth Rollins is in there and Aleister Black, and Seth Rollins feels like they're teaming up, and Aleister Black just kicks him in the black mass him right over the top rope.
Yeah.
And say like, and just kind of like where they bring up like, oh, the reason why his eye is like this, in case you have forgotten, is because of Seth Rollins. So it'd be cool because I feel like a tweener is just ideal for him. It worked for Undertaker for years, where he was just not a good guy necessarily, and not a bad guy for a while. He was just the guy.
yeah, I mean, Undertaker didn't go face until he debuted his purple gear.
Yeah.
So I mean, it would be interesting to see where they go with Aleister Black. I like that they have those types of characters that are just like mysterious and like dark, and like you don't know what the hell they're gonna do.
Yeah, they're gonna come out and you're like, do I leave? Do I work with them?
They did ditch the pants and go back to the shorts, and he was looking in great shape. I know that he lost a lot of weight. Even Randy Orton gave him praise over Twitter or Instagram, and so it was great seeing him back. There's also a rumor that his wife might be coming back. She was at the Performance Center, and but then also another thing with coming is that WWE dropped their third-party management group. So now they're trying to figure out if they're just now going to get rid of or let people just go back to Twitch, because the whole third-party management group was the one that was in charge of everything, and now they don't have that. So they might have realized. I'm hoping that with the return to live events, WWE just kind of says, screw it. If you guys want to play video games on your off time, go for it. It's kind of a hard thing for them to market. So I would love for that ban to be go back.
Yeah. And why not? Like, make some side money. Like, I just don't get it. Like, we gotta pay bills, man. We all have side hustles. Like, come on.
Exactly.
Oh, and I do want to propose one more small homework assignment, and that's just because Seth Rollins got brought up.
Oh my God, so much homework.
This one we don't have to watch any footage really. Who has the best Blazer game? Because you think about Seth Rollins and his suits, John Cena and his suits,
Oh no,
Jericho and his.
it's Seth Rollins. There's so many things that so far that he's just in the last couple of weeks, and I'm like, I want that. There's a lot that I'm like, I would never be caught dead in, but right now, like the last one on that he SmackDown when he attacked Cesaro, I was like, I don't even know what is on this, but I want it. So right now, he's definitely beaten John Morrison in the drip game, I believe.
Yeah, a little bit. And it sucks. I like Morrison's drip game, but I also like Jericho's. This is hard. Okay.
All right. Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll wrap up this episode on that note. Like again, we will the next episode will be on a Sunday before Double or Nothing. And yeah, so I will see you guys next week. And yeah, have a great night.
Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell.
Please.